techniques of Gann angle. Also, we will be learning the technique of midpoint method. So, two different intraday trading techniques we are going to learn. One is the Gann angle principle along with the volatility, and second will be on the midpoint method, midpoint intraday trading technique method. So, these are the two different methods we are going to learn today. So already you have learned the technique of Punic with volatility in yesterday's session. Prior to that also you have learned the Elliott wave with the volatility. If you have not attended those sessions, then please see the recordings available in our YouTube channel. So today's objective will be the Gann angle and volatility. So what this method says, so Gann angle says that from any price point we have to calculate for 11 trend lines. These 11 trend lines will be making different geometrical angle with the x-axis. So x is your timeline and y is your price line in most of the charting software. And this 11 trend lines, whenever we are drawing, this 11 trend lines will be making different angles with the x and y axis. So WT Gann has told whenever the price move above the third trend line or when the price fall from the third trend line drawn from a higher price point, that time you should enter a trade. Means from a low price point, if we are taking as a reference maybe the day's low, so from that low point when the price move up and it crosses the third trend line, then only we should buy. So your remaining trend lines will be acting as your resistances and the 11th trend line will be your highest point of your target. So these trend lines will be making different geometrical angle with your timeline or x-axis. Similar way, whenever the prices will fall from a higher point, once the price fall below the third trend line, you will be selling it. So this is how the trend lines are defined. However, practically it is difficult to draw 11 trend lines. That has to be also in a precise geometrical angle and place on a chart and then take a reading. For that, he has given us very simple mathematical calculations to do it. So all the supports we have to calculate from the price of our reference, maybe midpoint, maybe the last traded price, maybe the low. So the supports or the trend lines which is from the top to down, from a high to a low. So those trend lines can be calculated by taking the square root of the number, the price point from where we are going to draw this trend line, minus the degree factor. What is the degree of that trend line and whole square. Resistances same way has to be taken from the price of your reference, square root, then degree factor added and taken the whole square. For example, if I am telling Nifty is at 8,190, just give me the 45-degree trend line, the price point which is touching and crossing the 45-degree trend line in the upward direction. Also give me the reference of a price point which will be drawn from a higher point or from this 8190 which is 45-degree trend line. Means this trend line which is making 45-degree angle with the x and y axis. So in this case I have to take the square root of this number. So 8190 add with the 45-degree factor. So degree factor yesterday you have understood. So 45-degree factor is 45 divided by 180. So whatever the result I am getting, that I have to take a double multiple or square. So that will be the resistance trend line, and that the resistance trend line will be having a nature of 45 degree. So if you just solve this particular arithmetic, 90 square root added with 0.25. 0.25 is 45 divided by 180, and if you take the square of this one, it is coming to 8235. So 8235 is the trend line or the price point through which, if I draw a trend line, then that trend line will be making 45-degree with the x-axis. Similar way, if I take 8190, take a square root and subtract 0.25, and then I will take the whole square of that, then I will get a trend line which will be the negative side of your y-axis. So this x and y axis, whenever we are talking, so y, this is in the positive side, this is the negative side of y axis. So you can say the support trend line will be passing through a price point of 8145. So if I just combine both the things, currently I am at a 8190. 8235 is a price point through which, if I draw a trend line, it will make 45-degree angle with the x-axis, and similar way, from this price point, if I draw a support trend line, then the trend line should pass through 8145. So this is how the 11 trend lines are being drawn, and 11 trend lines will be taken into consideration, and out of that, third trend line crossover will be making a buy or sell decision. So this is what the Gann angle method says. So this 11 trend lines are, you can say, defined by the WD Gann. So this is, we have not manipulated anything. So now question is how we can accommodate this factor of volatility into this particular principle. So these are the steps we have derived, and based on these particular steps, or based on this particular concept, our GAV software, Gann angle and volatility software, is being developed. So we will be finding out the price range from the daily volatility. So then estimating the 11 trend lines will be, so price ranges which are associated with this trend lines will be calculating through the principle of Gann, what he has given, square root of number added or subtracted from the angle factor and then whole square. Then the resistances will be calculated from a reference price point, maybe a current price point or LTP or a open, added with resistance price range into Gann angle factor. Supports similar way we will find out. And the rule which WD Gann has given, third resistance crossover by or third support breakout sell, that same principle we are going to hold. So I have also created a backtesting report card for you in an Excel sheet, which I will be sharing at the end of the event. So you can utilize that particular Excel sheet to test this concept. So I have taken the Nifty example here. You can check any stock, any commodity here. Here I am calculating the daily volatility. So daily volatility, whatever I have told you yesterday, the process by which we are calculating the volatility, same way I have calculated the daily volatility. Post calculating the daily volatility, price range I have calculated, and buy entry, the third trend line, which is having a factor of 0.88. So the third trend line above we have to buy, and the third trend line below we have to sell. So that also I have calculated and put it here. So your buy entry, sell entry, and the subsequent targets of the remaining trend lines, that also I have put it here. So though 11 trend lines, different very close targets you will get in couple of trend lines, that I have avoided, and those who are the important trend line targets that I have accommodated here. So by this process I have just given for the entire 30 days, more than 30 days record I have given here. So you can simulate it and test it also. So if there is a gap up or gap down happens, then the last traded price need to be changed with the gap up price, and the prices has to be derived. Like if you say yesterday we have closed at 8120 level, and this is our buy entry level 8126. We have expected till 8157 it should come. However, so today's opening was a gap of opening. So let us see where we have opened today, and based on that what we have achieved. So today opening was 8164. So we have expected it should open at 8126, so that we should get a target of 8157, but we have opened at 8164 level. So this 8120 price level you need to change it to 8164. So your volatility will change, entry levels will change, everything will change. Post changing this one, we have got that today if we are 8164 level, if we are opening, our entry is sitting at 8169 or 0.77 or 8170, keeping a stop loss of 8158. We can expect maximum 8200. Similarly, if 54 touches, then we can go to the lower level of 54, which is coming to 8135. So today you can say the day's high 8206 level. So you have achieved everything and gone to the higher level. Now for tomorrow, today you have settled at 8190. So this data point I have to bring it back to its original form. So which was there 8120. So now today's last traded price 8190 level. So tomorrow it is setting the trend at 8195, and based on this 8223 level you are expecting, if it is opening below 8185 level, then sell entry targets will be 8164 level. So this is for the tomorrow. So by this process, if you go on backtest this data, you'll find out that the way you have seen today, opening basis, gap of opening was there, we made an adjustment, we got the levels, we have achieved. Certain days we need not have to do any adjustment, it will open off in that range. Means if it is opening above 8184, below 8195, then no need to do any adjustment. Any side it gives a breakout, after 5 or 10 minutes of your market opens, you can enter a trade. So adjustment is only allowed whenever there is a gap up or gap down opening happens. So based on this concept, if you just go on backtesting this particular data points, you'll find out more than 70 to 80% of cases your trade will be successful. So this is a tested concept. This is having a proper validations where you are buying, what is your stop loss, and what are the targets. And this Gann angle and volatility, once we infuse these two concepts, the major benefit of this technique is it works in all kind of volatility situation. So it works in all kind of volatility situation, irrespective of a low volatility condition or medium or high volatility condition. Low means less than 20% volatility, high means above 40%, medium means above 20, below 40% volatility condition. So this concept work in most of those conditions, and it is also very highly powerful concept. You can say once you will be simulating on this and backtest this thing with different data, you will get more clarity on this method. So the same concept also we have utilized for our JV software, the Gann angle and volatility software which you are getting with our product, that also utilize the same concept of Gann angle and volatility. So 11 trend lines, out of that third trend line you will be crossover in the upward direction, you will be buying. Third trend line crossover in the downward direction, you will be selling. So this is how your trades will go on, and third trend line crossover you will be buying on the upward direction, third trend line crossover in the downward direction you will be selling. So that is the method implemented on this, and Gann WD Gann's concept as it is we are following. So we are not exploiting anything on that Gann angles or the trend lines, different angles, that nothing we are exploiting in that. So this is the first method you have planned. Now move on to the next method of our intraday trade. So that is called midpoint method. So this is a very simple technique. This is also WD Gann's concept. Here, first step, you have to find out the midpoint of a high and a low. Then you have to find out the actual price difference between the midpoint and high, or midpoint and low. Both will give you the same price range. Then you have to find out the termination price range utilizing the 360-degree factor. And post finding that, you have to find out the uptrend termination point and downtrend termination point. Then your buy sell decision will come into picture. For example, yeah, I have taken high as 8207, low as 8141, midpoint is 8174. So the difference between the midpoint and high is 33 points. Termination price range, how you will find out? Square root of 33 added with 360 divided by 180 or 2. 360 degree factor is 2. And same thing will be multiplied with the with the same factor or square of that, or double multiple you have to take. So 2 times if you do this same calculation and multiply with each other, that is your square or double multiple, that gives you 59.97. So your uptrend termination will be calculated from the midpoint, which is 8174, added with 59.97, which is 8234. Downtrend termination is 8114. So this method says, as per the Gann angle concept, today the price is set between 8234 to 8114. Now you have to devise a method for entering a buy or sell level. Once, as per the WD Gann's this particular concept, he says as long as price is above the midpoint, you should consider it is a uptrend. When the price is below the midpoint, you should consider it is a downtrend. So midpoint is 8174. If the price moving above 8174 and below the high plus midpoint divided by 2, which is coming to 8190. So once the price is above 8174, below 8190, you need to purchase Nifty. So this must be above 8174, and 8174 should act as your stop loss for both buy and sell trade. So if you are buying the Nifty, you may buy above 8174, preferably the 8190 and 74 midpoint if you can take, it is better. So you can say 74 to 90. So another 16 points are there. So 16 points are there. So half of that 16 is 8 points. So if I am buying, I will be buying at 8174 plus 8 plus 8. So it is 8182 level. I should buy the Nifty, keep my stop loss as 8174, and my first target will be 8190.5. My second target, which will be the uptrend termination point, is 8234, added with the high which is actual high 8207 divided by 2. So 8220 will be my second target. My third target will be second target added with the uptrend termination price divided by 2, which is 8227.5. So this is similar way you can find out the sell entry level also. So this is a midpoint method. So here each time the midpoint of a price move is deciding the trend. Midpoint of a price move is deciding a trend. So your entry also based on a midpoint, your stop loss also based on a midpoint, and your targets also based on the midpoint. So this is also one of the most successful intraday method, especially works well in the medium volatility condition. So this method also you will find out on my book on Gann's method. So this is also one of the intraday method I have authored there. Intraday trading technique. So coming to our products and services, we have 10 different variety of products. Every product comes with a course material, DVDs and printed books which is in the form of a course material, and certain materials we have the softwares. Like the concept what you are learning now, it is called as your Gann angle and volatility concept what you have learned. So this, based on that, we have a specific course, though in a very limited scale you have learned this method. In its elaborate explanations of what is Gann angle, how Gann angles are being evolved, what is the process of calculating the finest rules of that. So everything is being given you in a audiovisual course. Along with that, we also give you one real-time software. So this comes with this particular product, and those who are interested to take a full-fledged course to learn and practice of your own, so they have an opportunity to take entire thing at a discounted price. If you separately purchase everything, it comes with a higher price tag of 47,000 and all. If you take it as a full package, at a time you purchase, you enjoy one good discount, and we offer it as a 17,500. Regarding product related any query, you can call in this particular number 98403 48971. Regarding subject related any query, you can ask me. Product number 8, what you are seeing here in the I was demonstrating. So this tool has all features of intraday, positional and options. So this tool has options. Since I have not taken the option courses for you, so here the calculations what I have shown in the manual way, same thing it does in a automated way, calculates volatility, calculates all the Gann angle important points and give you in different cycle forms and with its whatever the rules associated with that. So suppose if you want to go for a equity, and if you want to go for one instrument SBI, then you have to select it and you have to load this instrument, and you have to go automatically, it will calculate and tell you. Once it calculates, it will tell you which cycle you are now. Price is 249, presents in the second cycle. If you are, it recommends you buy. Once you buy it at 49 and or 49 rupees, then your stop loss will be 43, 243 and 70, the second cycle level, and targets will be 251 as per the second cycle. Once it migrates above that, you can get it at a 253.68. So this is how this particular software of Gann angle and volatility works. You can follow any one of this method. You can follow 1SD method. You can also follow volatility, or you can follow GAV, close related prices you will get. So any one you can follow. There is no, or you can just look into the summary and see that out of 9 analysis, how many analysis are suggesting you to purchase, how many are suggesting you to sell, and how many are neutral at that particular time. Then you decide upon based on this. If more number of studies are recommending you to purchase, then you can follow any of these levels. So whenever you utilize the volatility, some higher Punic ratios are being utilized, henceforth you get some expanded targets. However, whenever you utilize the GAV, whatever the volatility is there, based on that, whatever the Gann angle price points suggest, so that levels you used to get. Kalamurli is asking a question, very interesting question. He's asking, I have sent his questions to all of you. he is asking, as per the Punic rule, whenever the price moves above 0.236 retracement level and it goes to, this is his question. If you are not able to get it, you can see it from here. So 0.236 retracement level, if it crosses, it goes to 0.618 and 0.786 retracement level. So that is called as a death zone. From there it has crossed. In Gann principle, Gann angle principle, post third line crossover, whether any such rule is there. Yes, it is there, Mr. Balamurli. The third trend line what we used to consider, that is normally the 15-degree trend line. So 15 divided by 180. So this used to be a degree factor for the 15-degree trend line. So once this price moves above the third trend line, then we have 45-degree trend line. So this is the fifth trend line of 45 degree. So 45 degree line, it finds a greater resistance, which is 0.618, like your 0.618, 0.25 ratio it says. Post that it finds a next is at the 75-degree trend line. So this is also 75-degree and 45-degree trend line works as a important and resistance and supports as per the Gann angle principle. I wish to give one announcement here. This is a program. You are joining the third week's program of our 1 month event. Tomorrow onwards, the advanced concept of options are starting. So till today, you have learnt about the trend finding technique. You have learnt about different theoretical aspect of Elliott, Punic and Gann. You have also learned couple of intraday trading techniques. Also investment technique, very beginning itself I have taken. Tomorrow onwards, you will be learning about the options, option strategy and many pair trade techniques. So if you have not registered for the 4th week's event, please register here from our seminar link. And if you miss any of the earlier events, so the recording links are being given here. Please view the recordings from those. If you are using the midpoint method, instead of using the day's high low, trailing 1 hour, in the last 1 hour, what is the high and low the stock has given, and based on that, if you are going to do, then it can give you some good success. And it is a, if you are a great speculator, then it is highly awarding concept for you. The crude oils level as for 1SD calculation or GAV calculation you can take. So using the volatility and one standard deviation formula. So using the opening price and current price, this is the levels for the crude for today, 15th of October 2015.